Forest Night on the Enchanted Dew. When the first bonfires of the Enchanted Night were lit in the town of Relaxation, the air was already rich with the scent of wormwood and birch bark. Over the river drifted a pale haze like scattered silver, and the bells of the old church echoed faintly with the tambourines in the square. People wove wreaths of herbs, leapt over fires, whispered their wishes to the water, and watched their wreaths float away, toward love, toward the road, toward the unknown. Mira stood on the riverbank, holding a wreath of St. John's wort and fern. She was the daughter of a bookbinder, used to order, pages, and quiet, but tonight order itself seemed to blur, melting into the golden smoke of the fires. Beside her stood Vlas, the blacksmith's apprentice, tall, broad-shouldered, with warm hands that smelled faintly of iron and smoke. They had agreed to run away before dawn, to find a wandering priest in a nearby village and marry, without asking permission from the town governor Solomon, who planned to wed Mira to his son, Ilyar. "If your wreath floats toward the middle," said Vlas, "it's a sign. And if it drifts to the pier," Mira smiled, "then it's a sign we don't know how to throw properly," he laughed. But when Mira tossed her wreath, it neither drifted toward the middle nor the pier. It spun as if caught in an unseen whirlpool, then began to move upstream. "Did you see that?" whispered Mira. "It's the wind," said Vlas, though the air was still and heavy. They exchanged uneasy glances. Mira felt a quiet pull, as if the river itself had answered her. She knew they had to leave before midnight, before anyone noticed. But that restless wreath climbing against the current seemed to whisper, "Not everything follows your will," and that whisper came from the forest. The forest of silver mist. The forest began right behind the fields, where tall poplars arched together like dark gateways. People called it Savolas, the silver forest. In the day, its branches shimmered with sunlight and dust. At night, with fog and whispers. They said spirits lived there, the ones who remembered everything that humans forgot. "Let's go through the forest," said Vlas. "We'll reach the village by sunrise." "Through the forest? On Enchanted Night?" Mira hesitated. People say a lot of things," he interrupted, though even his voice trembled slightly. They stepped under the trees, and just then another voice called behind them. It was Ilyar, the governor's son, tall, arrogant, and certain of his own charm. He wore a black coat and a smirk that never reached his eyes. "Where are you going?" he asked, as if he had the right to know. "For a walk," said Mira. "Then walk in town," replied Ilyar. "The forest is closed. My father ordered patrols tonight in case of thieves or rebels." "We're neither," said Vlas. "Then what?" Ilyar's eyes narrowed on their clasped hands. "Runaway lovers? Go find a priest in daylight, not under cursed branches." "Ilyar," Mira said calmly, "you should go home. We have our own path." He paused. For a moment his face softened, but pride won over. "I'll follow," he said, "so you don't get lost." And so the three of them walked into the silver forest, under the low, whispering leaves and the pale, watchful moon. The queen of the forest. Far within, where fog glowed faintly blue, the forest queen sat on a low branch of an ancient elm, weaving threads of mist between her fingers. Her eyes were like two deep streams after rain. Her hair shimmered with moss and starlight. Beside her, crawling in the roots, was Korotan, her jester and servant, half boy, half magpie, all mischief. He wore a cap crowned with a small spiral horn, claiming he once found it in the ruins of a unicorn's grave. No one believed him, of course. "Humans," the queen murmured, tasting the word, "sweet and bitter at once. What do they seek tonight?" "Each their own," said Korotan. "One brings fear, one brings fire, and the one in black, pride." "And your owl?" asked the queen. "Is she watching?" A shadow landed beside them, a great white owl, silent as falling snow, eyes reflecting every bonfire in Relaxation. She was Memory, the forest's witness. "They want to pass," said Memory. The girl seeks freedom, the smith seeks promise, the governor's son seeks power. And the forest? Asked the queen. The forest, said the owl, wants a game. Then let's play, whispered the queen, and the mist began to move. The game begins. Fog coiled through the branches like a living creature, soft and deliberate. Korotun flicked his fingers, waking roots that loved to trip travelers. He whispered to a willow, and it lowered its branches like a curtain. Then he gathered dew from fern leaves, each drop holding a glint of strange light. Those were enchanted dewdrops, said to reveal not what is, but what one wants most to see. Be careful, warned the queen. Desire isn't always kind. Korotun grinned. Careful isn't fun. Ashed the women of herbs. Elsewhere, two sisters were also walking the forest path. Elena, the apothecary's apprentice, and Varya, her skeptical sister. They weren't running from love, but walking toward hope. Elena carried a pouch of herbs to lay beneath an old oak, a gift for the life growing quietly within her. People will talk, muttered Varya. Two women in the woods on Enchanted Night. Let them talk, Elena smiled. The forest whispers to all, but betrays no one. They reached the oak, ancient and massive, its roots twisting like veins of the earth. Elena knelt, laid down her herbs, St. John's wort, mint, yarrow, and whispered, Forest Queen, bless this child to come. I ask no joy, I'll make it myself, only strength and shelter beneath your shade. A warm breath of wind sighed through the leaves. The owl Memory, perched above, dropped a single white feather that floated down into Elena's hands. She smiled. A sign is a sign. They turned back, leaving quietly. The queen watched, pleased. The forest loved gifts that came without fear. Lost paths. Meanwhile, Mira, Vlas, and Iliar were wandering deeper. Paths twisted like ribbons, voices echoed, laughter, glass footsteps, nothing real. The forest had begun to play. Here, said Vlas. This path leads to the old mill, then the bridge. That way's blocked, Iliar objected. I heard it's collapsed. Their words fed the forest. It thrived on breath, on conflict. Korotun appeared between them, unseen, holding a drop of dew between his fingers. He touched it lightly to Mira's eyelids. She gasped, and suddenly Vlas shimmered before her like living fire, warm and radiant. Love filled her chest like sunlight breaking through fog. Pure, whispered Korotun approvingly. Then he turned to Iliar. Ah, here the real game lay. He dabbed another drop onto Iliar's eyes. Iliar blinked and saw, not Mira, but himself, adored, worshipped, surrounded by admiration, with Mira kneeling among the crowd. Pride flared like a torch. Perfect, chuckled Korotun. They argued, as mortals always do under the spell of their own desires. And far away, the queen's owl sighed, this will not end gently. The Stone of Silence. They stumbled into a clearing lit by a milk-pale moon. At its center stood a moss-covered stone etched with circles and lines, the Stone of Silence. Around it swirled low mist that hummed faintly, like held breath. Don't speak loudly, whispered Vlas. It's forbidden. Why? Iliar scoffed, and instantly his voice vanished. His mouth moved, but no sound came. He clutched his throat in shock. Told you, Mira murmured. They sat down near the stone. Weariness settled over them. Even the fog seemed to rock them gently. Vlas tried to stay awake but drifted into a dream, his breathing matching the rhythm of the trees. Mira leaned against him. Iliar stood apart, watching with envy, the kind that tastes like metal. Korotun slipped close, giddy with mischief. He had one last dewdrop, the strongest. It smelled of honey and flame. He touched it to Vlas's eyes. Vlas dreamed of Mira turning to water, slipping through his hands, vanishing into the river. Desire twisted into pursuit. Too much, muttered Koratun. He added a drop for Iliar, and Iliar dreamed of Mira glowing in firelight, unreachable yet his by will. Now, whispered Koratun, the play begins. But the owl memory appeared beside him. You meddle too deeply, she said. I only stir the air, he shrugged. Air becomes storm, she replied. Watch. The arrival. Branches snapped. Out of the dark came Governor Solomon, Iliar's father, tall, stern, his cloak heavy with dew. Behind him marched 2 guards. There you are, he said quietly. Enough wandering, you're coming home. He turned to his son. Bring the girl. She's not yours to command, said Vlas. Solomon's hand tightened on his knife. Everything here is mine. Even this forest stands by my order. He stepped forward, and the forest stirred. Leaves rustled, roots shifted. A pair of calm, luminous eyes appeared in the fog. Out of the mist stepped a unicorn, not white, but silver gray like moonlight on a blade. Its breath shimmered. It walked slowly, deliberately, until it stood between Mira and the guards. The men froze. Solomon reached for his knife, but something unseen held his hand still, cold as shadow. What trick is this? He hissed. The unicorn touched the stone of silence with its horn, and the stone sang softly like rain. The spell of quiet broke. Don't touch him, cried Mira, her voice echoing through the clearing. The sound shattered the illusions in Vlas's mind. He blinked, saw Mira clearly, and stepped toward her. The guards backed away, trembling. The owl memory swooped down and clamped Solomon's wrist in her talons, not to wound, but to halt. Go home, whispered the forest, not to ears, but to bones. The guards turned and fled. Solomon's knife fell to the moss. He met the unicorn's eyes, and for the first time felt the weight of his own authority crumble. Power had never been the same as right. Iliar, he said hoarsely, we're leaving. Father. Home, said Solomon, and walked away into the mist. Iliar lingered. I thought I had the right, he murmured. You had power, said Mira. Right is something else. Vlas looked at him calmly. Learn to love, not to own. Iliar nodded once, then followed his father. The unicorn turned to Mira, bowed its head, then vanished into the fog, leaving behind a faint trail of silver light. Dawn. Let's go, said Vlas softly. The bridge is ahead. Let's, Mira whispered. The owl memory dropped a white feather into his hand. He smiled and tucked it into his shirt. Thank you, he told the forest. The forest, of course, needed no thanks, but it accepted. Koratun spun in a delighted circle. What a night! The queen of the forest watched from her branch, eyes half closed. Are you pleased? Koratun asked. I am, said the queen. Tonight the forest breathed, and so did they. By the time Mira and Vlas reached the river bridge, the first light of dawn spilled across the sky like milk. They walked barefoot, the earth soft beneath their feet. Somewhere behind them, the town would wake soon, still smelling of ash and dreams. Ahead lay the road, the sun, and a life that would no longer ask permission to begin. Epilogue. Years passed. The town of Zareki built a new bridge and forgot the old one. Each summer on Enchanted Night, people still lit fires by the river, whispered wishes, and let their wreaths drift away. Some floated to the middle, some to the pier. And sometimes, just sometimes, one would turn and glide upstream against the current. Those who saw it would smile quietly and say, "The forest remembers."